Hello and welcome to St. Andrew Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. This is online lecture series. I am Rohit Raj from Civil Engineering Department. We are discussing irrigation engineering, which is in your sixth semester. This is seventh lecture of this course, and today we'll discuss different components of diversion headwork. Okay, in our previous lecture we have discussed the diversion headworks uh, and their importance. Okay, we have started the components of diversion headwork and we have seen through a diagram. So let's continue from there. Okay, this is the components of diversion headwork. We have seen uh, canal head regulator over here. Okay, this is canal head regulator. Similarly, we have seen the guide banks, marginal bunds. Okay, guide bank over here and marginal bunds. Then we saw vias. Okay, this is our via, and we have seen the fist ladder. Okay, so we'll start discussing each one by one. So let's start with weir or barrage. Weir is a solid obstruction placed across the river. Means uh, it is placed across the river, means obstructing the flow of river. Its main function is to raise the water level. Okay, what is its main function? To raise the water level so that water can be diverted. Basically, it is constructed. Okay, here this is the river flow and it is constructed across the river. That is, river is flowing in this direction and it is constructed across the river, and its main function is to raise the water level as its flow is the flow is affected here and the water gets accumulated or deposited, then it will increase the water level, it will rise the water level, and then it can be easily diverted to this. That is, through canal head regulator, it can be diverted to the off-taking canal. You can understand this clearly. Okay, so weir is a solid obstruction placed across a river. Its main function is to raise the water level. Now you understand this. So the water can be diverted by a canal to the crop field due to difference of height. And the main function or most important function of this, that is head diversion work, okay, is to raise the water level so that water flows to the crop field due to the difference of it, so that no external head source, that is pumping effect, is required. Now what is barrage in that case? Barrage is practically a low weir. It is a type of weir, but it is slightly lower in height with an adjustable gauge over this low weir. Heading up of water is affected by the gauge. And another important feature of barrage is that it has gates that can regulate the water. Okay, but weir doesn't have gates, so its storage capacity is fixed and it cannot be changed, and it cannot allow water to pass if the water level is below that structure. Okay, so this is the main difference between weir and barrage, that barrage had gates that can adjust the flow. Okay, this is weir and you can clearly see there is no gates over here. Only water can flow just by with the effect overflowing this structure. Okay, here it is, you can see this is overflow. Okay, this is another example. Okay, when the water is not flowing. Okay, and here if it is great present there, then it will become barrage. Okay, If the major part of the entire ponding of water is achieved by raised crest and smaller part or nil part is achieved by shutter, then this is called weir. Okay, if major proportion, that is most of the part don't have any shutters or any gates, okay, only a few or no, nil part is having shutters, then that structure is weir. Okay, here you can see with an example, that is these structures are raised with crest and there is no gate arrangement. But in the second diagram, you can see there is gate, but still major portion has raised crest. So this will be weir too, okay. But difference in both of them, that it has nil part as shutters, but it has some portions still major portion is raised crest. So you can clearly understand this, that in weirs the most major part, okay, is achieved by raised crest, and only a smaller part or nil part is achieved by the shutters. Okay, so this is weir when the shutters are on a smaller portion or not present there. Okay, now let's see the barrage. Okay, in case of barrage, major portion is controlled through shutters and only a few portion with crest. If, okay, here you can see clearly that major portion, most of the ponding is done by gates and a smaller or nil part is done by a raised crest. Okay, means it is just opposite to weir in design, that is it's in weir major portion is raised crest and only a few or no part is uh, um, having with no part is having gates, but here major portion is having gates and only a few or no part is with raised crest. Example is here, there's there the total ponding is by gate, that is no portion is raised crest. Here there is slightly raised crest and but still major portion is controlled with gates. Okay, now you are well aware with weir and barrage. Okay, weir is controlled by raised crest and ponding effect is only due to raised crest, but barrage is controlled with gates. Although there may be gates in case of weirs, but major portion will be controlled with raised crest. And similarly, there may be raised crest in barrage, but major portion will be controlled using gates. Okay, this is another example for barrage. Okay, you can see clearly that gates will uh, release water if not required there. This is the ponded water. Okay, here you can see this, there you can see the ponding effect can be controlled using their gates present. Okay, so let's compare between weir and barrage. Okay, so let's start with first cost. So we all know installation of gates instead of only concrete structure will be costlier. Okay, so weirs are less costly in compare with the barrage. Low control on floor, yes, of course, there is less control in water regulation, okay, or discharge in case of weir because we don't have gates to regulate the flow. But here in barrage, relatively high control on flow and water levels by operation of gates. Yes, we do have controls with the gates. Okay, no provision for transport communication across the river. Yes, also they cannot be used for inland navigation purposes. But in case of barrage, a road or rail bridge uh, can be conveniently and economically combined with a barrage wherever necessary. Means in case of wear, we don't allow a road just above the structure. Okay, but in case of barrage, they can be combined, and this is convenient as well as economical. Okay, we can allow a road bridge that uh, passes just above the barrage. Okay, chances of silting on the upstream is more. Yes, of course, silting will be higher because we have no provisions, and we have severe problems of silting in weir. Okay, as there is no provision for uh, removing that deposited pebble stones or materials, small stones near the structures. Okay, but in case of barrage, we can remove that settled particles by just operating gates. Okay, if there is deposition or accumulation of particles, then we can open the bottommost gate, and they can allow the removal of silted materials. Okay, afflux created is high due to relatively high wear crest. Okay, afflux in wear is high, whereas due to low crest in wears, uh, in barrage there is low crest, so afflux is low. Okay, in case of wear, afflux is high, and here it is mistake there. That is, here it should be barrage. Okay, so in case of barrage, afflux is low, and in case of wear, afflux is high. Since the gates may be lifted up fully even above the highest flood level. Okay, so this is all about the comparison of wear with barrage. These are the examples of wear depending upon the flow. Okay, this is first example is of vertical drop wear. Okay, so we'll see each of them in detail in coming slides. Okay, these are examples of wear. You can clearly see the difference in them here, just overflowing. Okay, and here the water flows along the structure, and there is difference between these two, and we have a proper name for each of them. We'll discuss in detail each of them. Okay, VS may be divided on types and base of material construction, design features, and types of soil. Okay, now let's study vertical drop wear. Crest gate may be provided to store. Okay, so in case of vertical drop wear, a crest gate may be provided to store more water. Okay, so there is a provision of gate in case of vertical drop wear. At the upstream and downstream ends of impervious floor, cutoff piles are provided, and both at the upstream and downstream, this is not shown in this diagram. Okay, but you will notice that both at the upstream and downstream there is cutoff piles provided. Why we provide cutoff piles? Just to avoid the effects of seepage, and that could cause severe problems and damages to the structure. So we'll provide cutoff piles at both sides, that is for upstream and downstream. Launching aprons are provided both at upstream and downstream in case of vertical drop wear. Okay, a graded filter is provided immediately at the downstream end of the impervious floor to relieve the uplift pressure. Okay, and we have a special provision to provide graded filter so that it could end the uplift pressures. Okay, just near the downstream. Okay, and we all are aware of uplift pressure. What is that? Basically, uplift pressures are the forces that are applied in vertical direction on any structure due to the effect of seepage, or you can say presence of water. You can compare this. Suppose we are inserting any body into water, then water applies some force to throw it outside. Okay, that is also a kind of uplift pressure. Similarly, on any structure that has water surrounding them, then there is uplift pressure. That uplift pressure can cause serious damages to the structure, and we have to check with them. So here, in case of vertical drop weir, we provide graded filters, means a sequential arrangement of filters immediately at the downstream end to relieve the uplift pressure. Okay, so this type of weir is suitable for any type of foundation. Okay, so we are not having major issues with the foundation for this type of weirs. So now, what are the important points for vertical drop weir? The crest gate may be provided. Okay, first point is crest gate may be provided. Second point is we have cut off piles. Okay, and we have cut off piles on both sides, that is on upstream and downstream. Now we have a graded filter. Why we require a graded filter? Just to relieve the uplift pressure. Okay, we are neutralizing the effect of uplift pressure so that ill effects of seepage and uplift force can be neutralized. Okay, here is the example of vertical drop weir. This you can clearly see the cut-off pile. Okay, both sides on the upstream and downstream. Okay, launching apron also, both sides. This is upstream cut-off pile. This is downstream cut-off pile. Okay, here and here launching aprons. Okay, you can clearly note. Now also you can see the core wall. Okay, this is your core wall, and just after this we'll provide with graded filters. Okay, to neutralize the uplift pressure effect. This is a live example of vertical drop weir. Now you are well aware of vertical drop weir. You have to keep few features in mind, that are we provide gates for excess deposition of water. We provide cut-off pile at both sides, that is upstream and downstream. We provide graded filters, okay, for relieving the uplift pressure. The second one is sloping weir of concrete. We have already seen an example of sloping weir in diagram. Well, we'll see in coming slides also. Okay, what is sloping weir? You can see here, this is your sloping weir. You can hear clearly, you can also see that there is upstream cut-off wall and downstream cut-off wall. There is also provision of toe walls. This is the toe walls. Okay, upstream toe wall this side and downstream toe wall this side. This is sheet pile. Okay, you have upstream cut-off wall, toe wall, sheet pile, or downstream cut-off wall, toe wall, and sheet pile. Okay, we also have crest, and there is a strut to support this crest. Okay, and this is our sloping weir. We'll study this. This type of weir is suitable for soft sandy foundation. Okay, and we know the prominent feature of sandy foundation. Okay, it is very pervious. means it allows water to flow through them easily. So there is always a problem of seepage, and for that we have provisions. That is, it is used where difference in weir crest and downstream riverbed is not more than 3 meter. They cannot be used for the difference of river weight and downstream greater than 3 meter. And hydraulic jump is formed when water passes over the sloping glaciers. And what is hydraulic jump? You are now well aware because I have discussed this in the same series, and in third or fourth lecture, that what is hydraulic jump. In case of falls and in case of super passes also, I have shown you that what is hydraulic jump. Hydraulic jump is a phenomena uh, when the water is flowing from supercritical to subcritical. That is, when the water is flowing at a lower depth than critical depth, and then it goes to a depth of higher depth, that is above the critical depth, then there is certain loss of energy, and that can be calculated using relations. Okay, so you are now well aware of hydraulic jump. So what are the things that we have to keep in mind, that for sloping weirs? Okay, sloping weir, first is that it is used for a soft sandy foundation. Okay, soft sandy foundation, we use sloping weir. Okay, second one is we cannot use this for uh, uh, difference between river bed and weir crest higher than 3 meter. We cannot use it for a difference of downstream river bed and weir crest more than 3 meter. That is approximately 10.5 approx feet. Okay, so you can 11.5, sorry. So you cannot use more than that. And these types of weir is of recent origin, means it is newly practiced. Okay, we already discussed that this is upstream cutoff wall and this is downstream cutoff wall. This is upstream toe wall, this is downstream toe wall, and this is seat pile. Here it is crest shutter, and this is strut to support the shutter. Now, third one is parabolic weir. We are well aware of shape parabolic, and the weir designed in this particular shape as parabolic weir is almost similar to spillway section of a dam. Yes, of course. We'll be discussing dams in our fifth unit, and then we'll discuss spillways that are provided to discharge of or drain off the excess water that are present or that gets accumulated. Okay, they may be present within the dam or outside the dam. Okay, so this is about the spillway of a dam, and this parabolic weir is similar to spillways of dam. Okay, we'll study in the coming units. Okay, then you will be aware of spillways. Okay, till then you just keep this in mind that parabolic weir is some way similar to spillway section. The weir body wall for this weir is designed as low dam. Okay, and its body is designed as low dam, and cistern is provided at downstream, and cistern is provided at downstream. Okay, so this is our parabolic weir. Here you can see clearly that there is a nappy. Okay, there is a nappy, and this is the crest, this is the head. Water is flowing here. Okay, and also we'll provide a cistern, means we'll raise here some beds so that water will have a cistern effect here in this region. If the bed is slightly higher here, then this will cause a cistern effect. Now, another type is dry stone sloping weir. In this type, stone or rock fill weir, it consists of body wall and body wall at upstream and downstream dry stones are laid. Okay, there is a body wall and both sides, that is upstream and downstream, are laid with the core walls. Okay, you can see in this example, I'm sorry for the image, they're not quite clear, but here you can see both the upstream and downstream sides is laid with core wall here and also here. Okay, core wall is laid. Okay, this and this core wall. This is grass, this is trust, this is rock fill. And what does this represent? 1 in 4 and 1 in 20. It clearly resembles the slope. Okay, and why it is higher in upstream and it is lesser in downstream? To reduce the effect of water uh, scouring effects on downstream. Okay, so now we are well aware of this dry stone sloping weirs. We'll start with barrage in coming lecture. Till then, what we have studied, just try to recall each of them. We have started with difference in, we have started with weir and barrage in this unit, and we studied, okay, what is difference between weir and barrage. Okay, basically weir don't have gates and barrage have, or means most of the ponding effects in weir is controlled with raised crest, and in case of barrage most of the ponding effect is controlled with gates. And there may be gates in weir also, but only a smaller portion or no. But in case of barrage, there may be raised crest to a smaller extent or absent. Okay, so this is difference between weir and barrage. We have studied that cost is higher in barrage. Okay, and we have low control in weir and high control in barrage. Chances of silting also increases in weir, but it is controlled in barrage. Okay, another thing is high efflux in weir and low efflux in barrage. Then we have studied different types of weir, vertical drop weir. Okay, then we have studied sloping weir of concrete. Okay, then we have studied parabolic weir, and last we have studied that is dry stone sloping weir. Okay, we'll start with barrage in our next lecture. Till then, thank you for listening and feel free to ask any doubt. Okay, you can text, WhatsApp, or email on this mail ID. Thank you.